Week 5. The creation of the theatre. The oldest known stone theatre in Greece, and therefore arguably the oldest proper theatre in the world, is that at Thorikos in Attica, which dates from the 6th century BC. The theatre of Dionysius, on the slopes of the Acropolis in Athens itself, came soon afterward. And while the Thorikos theatre was a sort of stretched ellipse, that of the theatre of Dionysius bears a striking resemblance to Greek and Roman theatres from all over the world of the classical Mediterranean, such as this one at Tindari in Sicily. This is not altogether surprising, since in a way all theatres of the ancient world followed the Athenian model. So let's take a look at the model. This is literally a model of the theatre in the Roman colony in Caesarea Augusta in Spain. You will note that, unlike in Athens, there was no convenient hillside to carve into a natural seating area, so the Romans built supplementary walls, called anelemata. You'll also note that, as classical theatres were daylight performances, the ideal theatre was north-facing, so that the spectators had their backs to the sun. These spectators at the theatron, which means viewing area in Greek, were seated on stone benches which were divided by walkways into wedge-shaped blocks of seating called kerchides. As you can see, the seats of the theatre fan out towards the rear, so majority of spectators were seated at the back. Therefore, the acoustics of the seating, in a world without microphones, had to be carefully planned, and the Athenians seem to have used strategically placed large vases filled with water to deflect sound around the area. This was essential, as a packed house consisted of well over 15,000 theatre-goers, all of whom wanted as intimate an experience of the proceedings as possible. Even today, in the well-preserved theatre of Epidaurus, a gentle cough is clearly audible in the back rows. As can be seen, the very front seats almost go right around the semicircular section in front of the stage. In Greek theatres, this area was larger and even more circular, so that the chorus and dancers could be seen almost in the round. This area in front of the stage was originally for dancing, and the name orchestra actually means dancing place. In a modern theatre, this is taken by the musicians, who get their name from the place where they perform, the orchestra. It is surrounded by a pathway called a parados, by which performers enter and leave the orchestra. Originally, this area was simply a smooth area of earth with an altar to Dionysus in the middle. In later years it became more elegant, and by the time of Pericles and Aeschylus it was a facade, which was added to supply a backdrop. Originally this was of canvas or wood, called a skena, but later it became an elaborate stone edifice. It is deliberately designed so that action can look as though it is taking place outside a building or within, and doors and windows that faced the street in an earlier scene now appear to be facing inwards. As the theatre in Athens fell into disuse, it was used for occasional meetings of the Athenian assembly, as it had a greater capacity. It was restored by Nero, and to the deep disgust of some of the Athenian elite, was also used to stage gladiator shows. The limestone seating blocks were often removed to make building material, but now the Greek government has announced that it will be doing some restoration work on the theatre, which is still used as a theatrical venue today, some 2,500 years after the world's first plays were performed at the very same venue.